In regards to MaAser, you're allowed to split it to as many places as you want. It doesn't have to go to one place. But there's a few things that you need to know about it. Number one, MaAser is after necessary expenses, which means, so for example, if you make $1,000 and you have $900 worth of actual real expenses like rent, food, not a vacation to the Bahamas, like real expenses that you need, necessary expenses, then what you have left is the $100, and from that you give the MaAser, you give the 10%, which means $10. Obviously, if the numbers grow, it's the same thing percentage-wise. So first off, need to know that MaAser needs to be based on the net amount that you have left after necessary expenses and not the gross. This would also answer the question of whether you're allowed to give MaAser based on money you haven't made yet, because if you haven't made it yet, number one, how do you know you're definitely going to make it? And number two, how do you know what the expenses are going to be at the time that you make it? You may make, let's say, $10,000, but, chas v'shalom, there may be $8,000 of unexpected expenses that particular month that, puts you in a situation that's very different than what you thought originally. So you only pay MaAser, or you put the MaAser towards after money that's actually made. Another thing is that it has to be towards places that you are familiar with, not just random places where you're hoping for the best. You have to do at least some type of checking, of where you're actually donating this money. And this is similar to any investment. If you were going to invest into a building, you'd obviously do an inspection to see if the building's foundation is going to hold up for another 20, 30, 40, 50 years, or the place is corrupt and 3 days after you buy it, chas v'shalom, the thing collapses. So you're obviously going to investigate. Same thing you do if you invest into a company, whether it's a public company like a stock, or you invest into a private company, private business. You're going to look at the books. You're going to look and find out what's going on behind the wheels. You're going to see if there's red flags. So because it's a big investment, right? So same concept with MaAser. MaAser, it doesn't necessarily matter what the investment is. You have to do some type of investigation. Obviously, the bigger the investment, the bigger the investigation should be, but it's all relative. $1,000 to you may be a very big investment, whereas $1,000 to someone that's a multimillionaire is not a big investment. But both of you are obligated to do some type of investigation and not just put it purely on faith. You have to do some type of investigation. You don't necessarily need to know, what the CEO is doing on the weekends, just like you don't necessarily need to know what the rabbi's hobbies are, but you need to obviously know something. Where is this money going? Is it going to pay for a Mercedes-Benz, or is it going for kiruv and, bringing Am Yisrael back to Hashem, helping righteous converts and things of that nature? Or if it's a Beit Knesset, if the Beit Knesset is really, bringing real rabbis to the place, or is it just bringing people that are politically correct and poisoning the people with nonsense? So you have to make sure you know where this money is going. Last but not least is you also have to look at it as an investment, which is, where is the biggest investment? Where will you get the most amount of reward? If you invest into a thing that's a one-time mitzvah, for example, a holiday party, great. Chazaku Baruch, you made a holiday party. Maybe you got a few mitzvot out of it. Some people that made, as a result of your party, they made a few brachot on this holiday party for eating the food. Great, it's wonderful. You spent $1,000, $10,000, $100,000. Doesn't really make a difference. On the other hand, if you invest into something that's more to do with bringing people to Torah, whether it's a Talmid Chacham that's learning Torah day and night, an Avrech that's learning in a Kollel, or Avrechim, or a Kollel itself, or you're actually, investing into a kiruv organization, an organization or a rabbi that's specifically focused on bringing Am Yisrael back to Hashem. Those have endless reward, because every single mitzvah that comes out of those people goes into your account. So whereas in a Hanukkah party or a Purim party, or some Simchat Torah party, it's all wonderful, but maybe you're going to get 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say, it's the greatest party ever. You got 100 mitzvot. Whereas if you go into a rabbi that's helping people do tshuva, one guy that actually did tshuva becomes a tzaddik his whole life. Every single mitzvah the guy does every day is going to go to your account, and every mitzvah he influences will go to your account. So if that guy just does basic level mitzvot of at least 100 a day, like a normal Jew, then you have yourself a lot of mitzvot, a lot more mitzvot in one day than you're ever going to get in a party. And this is not necessarily for self-interest. I'm not just saying that you should just donate to my organization. You could donate to Rabbi Mizrahi's organization, Rabbi Alon Nava's organization, and other organizations that you may be familiar with that actually do real kiruv work, or perhaps real kollel that actually teaches real Torah. If you don't know anyone, if you don't know a kollel, you don't know a Talmid Chacham, you want me to help you with it, I'm more than happy to. If you know somebody already that's serious about Torah, by all means give it to them. The point being is that you have to look at your MaAser and any money that you give that's tzedakah as an investment. When you look at it as an investment, you're going to treat it more carefully and you're going to think twice before you write that check. Chazakim Buchim for wanting to bring more Torah to the world and being conscious of all of Hashem's mitzvot. May Hashem bless you and your children, and every single person that you give to actually has the merit to generate mitzvot for you for the rest of your life. Kol Tov.